Hey everybody. So, have you ever wondered why chicken eggs, have different colors? Okay, they come from chickens, so shouldn't they all be the same color? And also, if you get your parents get your eggs at the grocery store, you will find out that when you open the carton of eggs, you either have white eggs or brown eggs, and they're all white or they're all brown, and they're like pretty much the same size, right? Well, that's because people that work at places where they raise chickens for eggs, they make sure that before the eggs get shipped to the grocery store, they are carefully matched to look the same. But chickens lay different color eggs. And if you get fresh eggs from farmers or somebody that just has chickens as pets like I do, you'll find that they are different colors and different sizes, which is crazy, but it's so much fun. So look at this. Did one hen lay all these eggs? What do you think? The answer is no, not one hen laid all of these eggs. So let's look at some eggs that I have in my refrigerator. So here we go, very similar to what you see in this picture. We have white eggs, we have dark brown eggs or darker brown, and we have just like a light color tan egg. And these are from 6 different hens. I have one white hen that lays white color eggs. I have 3 lighter brown hens that lay these color eggs. And then I have 2 darker brown hens that lay darker eggs. And even in our incubator where we're waiting for the chicks to hatch, that's right behind me, there are different color eggs as well. So what is it about the color and how will you know what color egg will a hen lay? Well, it's all about the pigment that is inside of the hen that makes the egg color during the process of creating the egg inside of the hen. So all of the eggs start white. Now, shell is the last thing that the hen makes for the egg. The shell, the hard shell, that's the last thing. And it starts white, but the very right before the hen is ready to lay the egg, there is a pigment inside of a hen that will color the egg. So some of the hens have more of that pigment than others. So clearly, white eggs, those hens don't really have any of that pigment. That's why the egg, or they just have the white pigment. That's why the egg comes out white. But some other hens will have more of the pigment, and then you will get different color eggs. So we can have brown, light brown, a really dark brown, like a greenish, bluish eggs, tan color eggs, all kinds of colors. And it's really fun to figure out what color eggs are my hens going to lay. Now, you could also tell by the earlobe of a hen what color egg she will lay. If the earlobe is white, she'll lay white eggs. If the earlobe is reddish pinkish, she'll lay brown eggs. Now, I bet you didn't know that chickens have ears or earlobes, did you? They're actually not really earlobes, they're like openings. Do you want to see it? Let's look at it. All right, so this is glowy, and I'm gonna do my best to show you chicken ears using glowy. Now, I'm doing this by myself, so hopefully. Okay, so right here, you see, this is the earlobe. And if I move that feathers, you can see that there is an opening in the chicken's ear. So hers have pink around, and she lays brown eggs. And if I'm not gonna be able to catch her, but there is Betty right here. Where are you, Betty? There she is. She has white around hers, and she lays white eggs. So ears and chickens. And all of this right here, that's part of her earlobe. Say hi, Chloe. Alright, guys. Alright, so now let's talk about sizes of the eggs. Why are some of the eggs smaller than others? Look at this picture. All of these are chicken eggs. And even the ones that I have in my refrigerator, okay, they're different sizes. Look at these two. This one is smaller than this one. Or these two. Look at that. See, again, if you buy your eggs at a grocery store, they are always going to be very close to size. But if you buy eggs, fresh eggs from a farmer, they are most likely going to be different sizes, unless the farmer takes time to sort them depending on their shape and size. And even the shape is different. Look, this one is a lot more pointy and this one is rounded. Now, some people believe that if the egg is more round, it will produce a hen if it's incubated. And if it's pointy, it will produce a rooster. I don't know if it's true. It's just a belief. But anyway, they have different sizes because, again, it depends on the hen. All of my hens that I have, they're pretty much the same size and they're the same age, yet some of them always lay smaller eggs than others. I guess it just really depends on the hen. But when they first start laying, when they're really young and they first start laying eggs, those eggs are going to be teeny tiny. And then as the hen grows and matures and becomes adult, her eggs will also get larger. And a lot of times when the hen is young and just starts laying eggs, those eggs are going to be shaped funny, and maybe the shell is not going to be as hard as later on when she becomes an adult hen. So another fun thing about watching those eggs, because not only the hens grow and develop into adults, but also their eggs get larger and better. All right, so that is it for the sizes of the eggs. Next, let's talk about baby chicks. Okay, I want to talk to you about egg tooth, since we're talking about eggs, right? And I cannot wait to show you the egg tooth on one of the chicks once they hatch, which is next week. But right now, I just found a picture online to show you what it is that I'm talking about. Because the shell is hard and the baby is little when it's ready to hatch, it needs to use what's called an egg tooth on the very edge of its beak to break through. So you can see a picture right here. This is a hatching chick and you can see the egg tooth poking out. So once the baby is ready to come out of the egg, it will use that egg tooth, which is basically a teeny tiny tooth. It's pretty sharp. It's on top of its beak. And after several days, after hatching, it just simply falls off. But it uses that to break through. But they poke a little tiny hole, and then they use that tooth on top of their beak to just kind of poke around to cut the shell open, and then they push with their wings and their feet to come out. So that is called an egg tooth. And it's not just chickens, all birds have those. They use it to break out of the egg and hatch. All right. That is all for this part. And let's check on our incubator. All right, remember we are counting down, so we've got 7 days left, which means they will be hatching next weekend. We are at 56% humidity, which is great, and the temperature is staying on 100. So all of that looks good. And remember, we just talked about shapes and colors of eggs, and look, we have dark brown eggs, we have white eggs, we have tan eggs. All right, it's gonna be fun to watch the chicks hatch and the color that they will be. And I can go ahead and tell you that those dark brown eggs, they'll produce dark colored chicks. And then the white eggs will most likely produce white chicks because mom and dad are white. And that's another thing about hatching your own eggs, because you know which chickens and roosters they came from. So we are doing great. 1 more week left. It's gonna be very exciting. And just let me tell you really quick, I removed 2 eggs out of the incubator, so we are down to 36 eggs. I removed 2. One of them was never fertilized, which means it would never develop a baby. And the other one started developing, but it stopped. So there was not really any sign of life when I opened it up. So that was what we call a quitter. So down to 36, and hopefully all of them will produce babies. Check out this baby, guys. This was too cool not to share.